I took my first fight on 11 days notice. So 10 minutes before this, I told my coaches I wanted to take the fight. It is very short notice, but I've been working hard for so long, so I was pretty confident in my cardio and my endurance, so I was like, I really want to take it. We did this circuit, and each exercise was 3-minute rounds, so it was pretty grueling. Sprints on the bike are hell, because it never gets easier if you're truly pushing yourself. And you know me, man, I'm always gonna push it. But for real, man, I'm just so excited that I finally get to fight. Like, I've been wanting to fight for so long, which is kind of why I took this fight, because I'm like, I can't wait anymore. We did some pad work, some bag work, and come on, man, look at that jab, man.
Nothing, right?
Nothing.
Easy work. Easy work. Go.
Switch?
Oh, stay.
It's really hard to film like this.
Start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Look at you. It's all right.
He's a softie. He's soft.
It's all right. We'll get there too.
I woke up, had breakfast, and headed over to Lowe's on MMA. This is a kickboxing fight, and I've been mainly boxing, so I wanted to get some kickboxing training in. We worked on defending kicks and some boxing guard stuff. After this, I had a call with Coach Jarnell Lugo, and we just went over some visualization and mental stuff for the fight, working a lot on being grateful.
I like to access positivity through gratitude. So this is going to be a big deal for you going forward as far as your fight goes, because it is important that you feel good when you fight.
Every time I pray, like that's how I start my prayers, is just like showing gratitude. It's fight day, I'm waking up in the morning, I say my morning prayer. Thank you, God, for everything you've done for me. Thank you for allowing me to wake up this morning.
Then I headed over to 33 Boxing Club. Started with 3 minutes of jump rope, 2 minutes of punching with weights, and burpees in between. Worked mainly today on head movement and feints. We did a couple rounds on the bags, speed bags, and mitts. Today was a very early morning because I have to leave to Minnesota for work at like 9 in the morning. We started with stretches and dynamic warm-ups. Then we went into a circuit, sprints on the bike, rows, and running. Then we did a couple boxing drills. That drill you see with the resistance band is absolutely awful. Then I headed over to Boston Airport as I had a flight to catch at 9 in the morning.
You need to account for what happens when you hit a wall. It's like Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face, right? So you need to account for when I get punched in the face, what's the narrative, what's the story I'm going to tell myself, how am I going to respond?
Do I take into account
That you feel fucking nervous?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because that's normal, right? It's the adrenaline, right? So like, when you feel nervous or when you feel the adrenaline rushing and like you're, hyper aware, right? What is this a signal of? It's a signal that my body's prepared. My body knows that today's fight day. If you don't already determine what that means, when it happens on fight day and you haven't already labeled this, your brain's gonna label it something negative. And it's not. Right? So you need to label it when you have clarity so that you know when it happens, okay, this is what's happening. Yep. It's not about suppressing the feelings. It's about accepting the feelings and deciding how you want to navigate them, right? A lot of times there's no navigation, there's just avoidance. Right? You want to accept that this is a part of the natural fight day, and that it's not something that you need to run away from, right? Because if you don't acknowledge it and you are trying to act like it doesn't exist, then that means it's a threat. It's not a threat. It's not a threat to feel this way.
Yeah, because I was talking to Will yesterday when we were on the way to the gym, and it was like an hour drive, and I was like, bro, like, ever since like I took the fight, obviously like there's times where like I'm not feeling it, but like almost like 90% of the time it's like the spit in my stomach. And I'm like, I was so like, I've been wanting to fight for so long, and I'm like, if I'm just gonna feel like this 10 days, 11 days ahead, like, You know, like,
How are you gonna feel on that? So now you're already labeling that feeling on that day. You're already predicting that it's a signal of something bad.
Caleb is a performance coach, and I'm his videographer. We have a speaking engagement in Minnesota, and Caleb is also helping me prepare mentally for the fight. We landed, grabbed a rental, and drove over to Morris, Minnesota. We grabbed Chipotle and headed straight to the campus gym. Enjoy my hoops highlights, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yet in this garden, Jesus chose to obey God's plan completely. Instead of insisting on his own way, even when it would have been easier to avoid the suffering, Jesus prayed, "Not my will, but your will, God." He showed tremendous strength by setting his own feelings aside. Even though he felt sorrow and distress, he still chose to trust and follow God's plan.
I woke up, prayed, had breakfast, then headed to the campus. We had to attend a couple meetings, then afterwards I went to the gym. Today I just worked with some footwork, did some shadow boxing, and moved around with Caleb a little bit. Then we got some food, headed back to the hotel, got ready, and left for the engagement. Here I'm just filming Caleb getting ready to speak. We prayed, then it was time to start. This is us after the engagement, talking about how everything went, how we felt about it. Then we headed back to the hotel, had food, and went to bed. Yes, yeah, no, we travel. Connecticut is not a problem at all. Thank you for reaching out. I really appreciate you wanting to work with me. So we woke up and headed to the airport. On the way, I had to call a couple potential clients. And my question to you is, how much are you looking to invest in this?
Let's say there was $1,000 budget. And it was shipped to you. Would you be able to take care of it?
Yeah. We stopped to grab Chipotle.
Chipotle's so good, it just reminded me to thank God.
No kidding, I could eat Chipotle every single day. We got to the airport and I had to do some editing. Then it was time to fly. I barely recorded after this, I was just so tired. I gotta do a better job of recording everything. We woke up in the morning, headed to Lozon's. Here, Jay was just giving me some real solid advice, telling me to just be myself and not trying to reinvent the wheel so close to a fight.
Your shit popped up on my Instagram.
This is Michael, and he was telling me how one of my videos popped up on his Explore page and how much he liked it, which is always kind of cool to me, though, like, to find out that people like my stuff. This was my last sparring session before the fight, so we were going real light and just moving around. I headed home, got some editing done, and watched the Usman versus Paul Hughes fight. Paul Hughes got robbed, by the way. And shout out TikTok Shop, man. I got this massager from there, and yo, this thing does magic. So yeah, this is how my week went, and I'll see you guys next week.